The year was 2003. American forces crossed into Iraq. For many Americans, the invasion felt like the next chapter after September 11th. The country was still angry, still grieving, still looking over its shoulder. The attacks had changed everything. National security dominated the news. Politicians talked about threats. Television talked about threats. The public talked about threats. And in Washington, attention was turning toward Iraq. The Bush administration argued that Saddam Hussein possessed weapons of mass destruction. Officials warned that waiting could create even greater dangers in the future. They argued that removing Saddam Hussein would make America safer. Many Americans agreed. The memory of September 11th was still fresh. Fear has a way of making uncertainty feel unacceptable. People wanted answers. People wanted security. People wanted to know it could never happen again. But not everyone was convinced. Critics questioned the evidence. Some argued that Iraq had nothing to do with the attacks of September 11th. Others warned that removing Saddam Hussein could destabilize the region and create problems nobody could predict. The debate was fierce. Yet on March 20, 2003, the invasion began. Coalition forces moved into Iraq. The advance happened quickly. American troops pushed toward Baghdad. Within weeks, Saddam Hussein's government collapsed. Around the world, television viewers watched statues fall. Many believed the war was essentially over, but the fighting didn't end. In many ways, it was only beginning. Insurgencies emerged, roadside bombs appeared, sectarian violence spread. American troops found themselves fighting a war very different from the one many had expected. What began as a rapid invasion became a conflict that would last for years. As the war continued, Americans began asking broader questions. Questions about intelligence, questions about foreign policy, questions about how major decisions were made, who influenced policy, who shaped discussions in Washington, which organizations carried the most influence behind the scenes. Among the groups increasingly discussed was AIPAC. Supporters viewed AIPAC as an effective advocate for a strong U.S.-Israel relationship. Critics argued AIPAC's influence on Middle East policy had become too significant. The arguments grew louder, the accusations became more serious. And then, in 2005, something happened that brought those debates directly into the national spotlight. Not a war, not an election, a criminal investigation. For the first time in its history, AIPAC found itself at the center of a major national controversy, and that controversy would change the conversation surrounding the organization for years to come.